This conference will now be recorded.
Dinesh, can I use this machine Ubuntu for Docker? Is it Docker installed?
Let's install Docker.
Okay. I need to have that PEM file, I think so, right? To connect. Okay, I'll create a new EC2 machine. Why are you working on North Virginia, Dinesh?
By default, it's there, Sunil. That's it. I didn't set anything. Right, Sunil? We need to use
Better
Mumbai
to
or else
set
what?
Mumbai. Better to use Mumbai.
Okay, Sunil. From next time, we'll do it.
I'm using North Virginia only.
Sunil, even in real time, also we need to use all traffic, or else we can use any SSH only.
You can use any port also. Meaningful port, you can open it and then you can access it. We have learned it in AWS.
Yeah. No, in security group, is it mandatory to give all traffic, or else not like that?
No, it's not mandatory.
Okay, Sunil.
Connected. How to install Docker, Dinesh?
So, get www.getdocker.com. You need to.
Right. So we already had discussed about theoretical concepts of this changing the default process. Every image comes with the default process. We already know it. Okay. Just to understand this. Started recording already. Docker image comes with the default process. As long as the process is running, the container will be in running state. The moment process is closed, the container will be exited. Let's experience it. I want to start an Ubuntu container, Docker run image Ubuntu name C1 IT interactive terminal. Done. Control PQ to come out of the container. The container is running in the background. The container C1 is running in the background. Which container it is? Ubuntu container. Creating a Jenkins container, D for detached mode, will not get any messages. P for automatic port mapping. I want to enter into Jenkins. I want to enter into Jenkins. If you want to connect to Jenkins container, which is already running now, you need to explicitly run a command called docker execute. IT stands for interactive terminal. Which container you want to connect to Jenkins? You want to connect to bash terminal. The terminal of Jenkins is bash terminal. So I have connected to Jenkins container now. Observation. In Ubuntu container, I can directly write IT interactive terminal in the docker run command itself. See, docker run command itself. Whereas in Jenkins, I'm executing an additional command exec. What is the reason behind it? Okay. Let's do it. I want to open one more terminal. Connect to the same EC2 machine Docker host. Connected. Please look at this. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to use IT option, interactive terminal option. It was running it will run successfully for Ubuntu container. But if you try to create a Jenkins container and I want at the same time I want to enter into Jenkins container, please observe what happens. Jenkins is starting. See, are you able to enter into container? You're getting a log message and finally you get a message Jenkins is fully up and running. You're not able to enter into a container. Let's experience the Tomcat container. Running a Tomcat container. To close this. See list of all the containers. I think Jenkins, we may get it, we may not. We're getting it. 3 containers are running. One is Tomcat, one is Jenkins, and one is Ubuntu. As we have mentioned a statement, every container comes with every Docker image comes with the default process. Where can we see the default process? In the heading called command refers to the default process which is running. For TomEE image, the default process is catalina.sh run. For Jenkins, the default process is /bin/tini, something like that. For Ubuntu, the default process is bash. That means every image comes with a default process. Every image comes with a default process. For the Linux based container, which is Linux based container out of this? Ubuntu is a Linux based container. The default process is shell process. Bash is a shell process. Bourne is also a shell process. For shell process, we can able to enter into interactive terminal. Okay. Whereas other process you cannot enter into interactive terminal. So that means this is all about understanding the default process, just to understand the concept. And my point is, can we change the default process of a container? Can we change the default process of a container? Yes, you can do that. You can change the default process of a container. I'm changing the default process of Ubuntu container. What is the Ubuntu container? The Ubuntu container default process is actually bash, but I want to change the default process of the Ubuntu container. Can we do it? Yes, by using a keyword called entry point. Okay, you can change the default process of a container.
Sunil,
Yes.
yeah, you give an exit for Jenkins container, but still it is running. View Docker container ls.
Exit is for terminal based containers. When Ubuntu, when you write exit, it will be stopped. For Jenkins, when you write exit, it will not be stopped. When Ubuntu, when you write exit, it will stop because the terminal is closed. Once the terminal is closed, the container will be stopped.
Okay.
Okay, Dinesh. Creating a Docker file. Docker file can be created using the keywords. You can see from the base image Ubuntu maintainer, you can write your name. I'm updating the apt repository, installing JDK, downloading a particular file by using the add. You can download any file from a particular URL, and entry point is used to change the default process. I want the default process of Ubuntu as java-jar jenkins.var. So let's just create a Docker file. Building a customized image from the Docker file. What's the customized image name? My Ubuntu. So it downloads that particular file and makes the default process. It's running. Let's open one more terminal. Connect to the same instance. No, that's downloading. Okay. Docker image ls. Ubuntu is a base image, that's standard image. My Ubuntu is a customized image. And from this customized image, I want to create a container. Docker run my Ubuntu. When you run my Ubuntu, obviously, actually it's an Ubuntu container, right? It's an Ubuntu base image is Ubuntu container. But if you see the log messages, you will find Jenkins is fully up and running. What does that mean? When I am starting a Ubuntu container, I am getting a log message of Jenkins. What does that mean? That means java-jar jenkins.var is running in the background. Okay, so this means you should understand that we have not done that. We'll see. By that point, you should understand that it's actually a Ubuntu container, but it is behaving like a Jenkins container. See what you're getting? You're getting the log messages of Jenkins. It's as if you're starting a Jenkins container, but you're not starting a Jenkins container. You have started an Ubuntu container. Okay, got it. So, shutting down this. Look at the background processes. Actual Ubuntu container, the bash terminal. But my Ubuntu is, I have changed it as a java-jar jenkins.var. Okay, clear. So you can change the default process of a container. Okay, by using the entry point. Okay, in case in the interview they'll ask you, they want to know, do you know about the concept of a background process? Then you should say yes. Every image comes with the default process. It's a background process. Okay, so that's about the background process. Coming to working with registry, as we know, hub.docker.com is a public registry where all the Docker images are saved. We can also upload our own images into Docker Hub. Okay, so let's proceed. Public registry is nothing but hub.docker.com.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
When we actually changed the default process of Ubuntu, we changed it to the when we changed it to the Jenkins one, right? So it actually
Yes.
rather than entering into interactive mode, it actually showed us the logs. Now, does
Log
it actually
messages.
replaces the default process that is there, or I mean, the default process is also already there as well?
Now default process will be already there. Okay.
So
Because
it will
as long
just
as the
run
default process,
it will
it
just
will just
run the
overlap
last command.
it will overlap the default process with this one. So default process still be running. Okay. But that will be again overlapped with java-jar jenkins.var. Okay, so that's the reason you're getting these messages. That's how technically happens. Okay.
So similarly, if in case my concern is in fact, does it also? When once we have made the changes to this for a particular file, okay, can we get back to that original feature of we have the Jenkins on it, but
Now
also
this is container, right? So
yeah.
whenever you don't want this, you can stop the container and then have a fresh container with the actual process. Okay.
Sure.
Changing the default process is a very rare scenario. Generally, clients will not ask us to change the default process, but we should know the concept. It is important from the interview point of view.
Okay.
Next.
Hello.
Yes.
Sunil, one doubt. Like when this concept will come, like why the
As I told you, changing the default process is a very rare scenario. Why does the client needs to change the default process of a standard container with some other container? Generally rare. But I have
Okay.
discussed this point because in the interview, they want to know how good you are in understanding Dockers. They may ask you this
Okay.
default process. So we should know
Okay.
that. In conceptual, we should know that. That's what we should know, that every process comes with some default process. Okay. And then there's a
Hmm.
possible to change the default process by using the entry point to keyword. That's all.
Oh,
But never ever will get a chance to change the default process.
okay. Okay, Samir. Thank you.
Public registry is nothing but the site hub.docker.com. Images uploaded here are available to everyone. Let's have a use case. Create a customized Ubuntu image with installing Tree in it. Tree is a package. Tree is a software. So we are taking one standard Ubuntu image, installing some software in it. Let's say, for example, Tree in it. Save that container as an image and upload that image into Hub. So this is a new thing what we need to focus on, uploading the image into Docker Hub. This is a new thing which we are experiencing now. For that, you need to create an account in the hub.docker.com. Dinesh, as I am using your account today, do
Yes,
you
sir.
have this account in hub.docker.com?
No, Sunil, I don't have.
Shall I sign up with your details?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Docker ID should be unique. Docker ID should be letters and digits only, should not have at the rate. So remember the credentials, Dinesh. Password, I'm maintaining the same password which you have given for AWS.
Okay, Sunil. Sure.
Username is already taken. How's that?
I got a mail to confirm my email address.
Right. Please confirm it. Let me know once it is confirmed. Your Docker ID is this one. Am I right?
Small d, Vinay. Say, Sunil.
Okay. Have you
Dinesh.
activated?
Yeah, I
Verified your
have
email?
activated. Yeah, I have verified.
Okay, so I'm logging. Okay.
Yeah.
This is how you need to activate your Docker Hub. Yes. This is our profile. Okay. Right. So log into Docker Hub. We want to upload it into our Docker Hub. So create a new account. Okay. Coming back to our terminal. Docker run. Name of the image. Using a predefined image 1.2 interactive terminal. What's the name of the container? C5. Yes. Container is created. C5. I have entered into the container. Inside the container, I want to install one software, so I'll update the apt repository. Yes. Installing the tree software. Exit. Converting the status of the container into an image. Docker commit, which container you want to convert. C5 container I want to convert into an image, and image name should be starting with Docker ID. This is the Docker ID. Slash image name can be anything. So something. So let's have it as Ubuntu_image2. So when you do this, it's converted into an image.
Previously
How
you
to see?
used build command.
There are two ways of creating customized images, right? Docker commit, converting the current status of a container into image. Okay. Please refer our previous examples. Build is for Docker file. I'm not using Docker file. No? The two ways. Just using Docker commit. How to see list of images. This is the new image which I've created. This image I want to upload into Docker Hub. Upload into Docker Hub. So if you want to upload into Docker Hub, you need to log into Docker Hub from the terminal. Docker login is a command to log into Docker Hub from the terminal. It is asking for your username. That's nothing but your Docker ID. Password. Login. I have successfully logged into Docker Hub from the terminal. Docker push is a command to upload the image into Docker Hub. What's the name of the image? The name of the image is Dinesh8686/Ubuntu_image2. This is your image.
Sunil, how we will come to know whether we are in Docker Hub or not? Like whether we logged in successfully to Docker.
See, you're getting a message, no? Logged in succeeded. What's your doubt?
What? I mean, like how? Yeah, is there any command to check whether you are in Docker Hub or not, or else?
No.
Just that.
You have get a message, no? Login succeeded. That
Yeah,
means
yeah,
you are
sure.
logged into Docker Hub from the terminal.
So
Now when you push it, obviously you have logged into which account? Your account only, because you have provided your credentials, no?
Yeah. So
So
okay, Sunil.
you have provided your credentials, so you have logged into your Docker Hub, and then you have
Yes.
uploaded. That means your image is uploaded into this particular Docker Hub. Now check it from the browser. Refresh. This is the repository. This is the image which you have uploaded. Okay. If anybody wants to download this image, you can use Docker pull command. Got it, Dinesh? Clear?
Yes, Sunil. Yeah, clear.
Like how standard image is having Docker pull command, your images are also having Docker pull command. These are customized images. Okay. Like this, if required, we should be in a position to upload our images into Docker Hub if you want to share it for others. Okay. So this is all about Docker. Docker is all about providing the required infrastructure. Okay.
Hello,
Right. Yes.
Sunil. Is the only way to upload through terminal or through GUI also we can upload
Mm,
through UI? Like in GitHub,
no.
we used to upload from UI also. No?
Yes. You're right.
Is there any possibility for this?
No. So because it is not from the operating system level where you can pull the image. Where is the image? Image is not there in your operating system, is it?
Correct.
Where
It
is
is
it?
in terminal.
It is in AWS account. That too in
Yes.
EC2
Yes.
machine. Okay.
Huh.
So we cannot access it from the graphical user interface. Okay.
Okay.
We are moving to the next tool of Docker that is called as Docker Swarm. We are moving to next continuation of Docker called as Docker Swarm. Docker Swarm is a containerization tool. Docker Swarm is a containerization tool. So what Docker Swarm will do? Docker will provide a container. Providing container is required whenever you want database. We provide a database in the form of a container. When you want a web server, we provide web server as a form of container. If you want an operating system, we are providing operating system as a container. So we are providing some infrastructure to the team who require the infrastructure so that they'll use it at that point of time. That's Docker will do. Docker Swarm is the next tool. It's a container orchestration tool. What is container orchestration tool? What does this container orchestration tools do actually? Let's experience this. Let's have some information on that. Container orchestration is the process of running Docker containers in a distributed environment. First, you should know this. Distributed environment. First point. You should understand this term, distributed environment. As of now, we are creating containers. We are creating Ubuntu containers, Jenkins containers, all the containers we are creating. Where are we creating containers? Where the containers are running? Obviously, it is running on the Docker host. This is the final hardware, right? Where they are running? They're running in the Docker host. This Docker host, is it a one machine or a multiple EC2 machines? It's only one machine. It's not multiple machines, it's a one machine only. So all the containers, if you're creating 5 containers, all the 5 containers will be running on the Docker host. That's fine. This is not a distributed environment. This is single infrastructure, single hardware. When the same containers are running on multiple machines, then you can visualize as a distributed environment because the hardware is getting distributed. It's only one machine, right? One EC2 machine. If you create 10 containers also, all the containers should be running here only. You have no other option. Distributed environment is nothing but multiple. If the Docker containers are running on multiple machines, it is called as a distributed environment. How is it possible? How can we create a container? Few containers are running in this, assuming this is machine 1, machine 2, machine 3, machine 4, machine 5. Few containers running in machine 1. Few containers are running in machine 2. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. First of all, why should we do that? What is the reason to run containers on a distributed environment? One environment is enough, no? Docker host, one machine is enough, no? So let's try to understand all those points. Distributed environment, that means multiple Docker host machines. As of now, how many machines are there? How many Docker host machines are there? As of now, all the containers are running in one machine, one Docker host. Like this, if you have multiple Docker host machines, that is called as a distributed environment. Container orchestration will help you to do that. Container orchestration tool like Docker Swarm helps in running the containers in a distributed environment. This means multiple Docker host machines. But all the containers are having a single service. This term is very important. All the containers will have a single service running on them, and they share the resources between each other, even though they're running in a different host machine. So all these we will see practically. When you see practically, you'll understand. We'll create a service. All the containers that we'll create 5 containers. We link the 5 containers to a service. So this will be very clear when we see practicals. Docker Swarm is a tool to perform all this, to perform container orchestration. Container orchestration is a concept, and Docker Swarm is a tool by Docker community which helps in performing container orchestration. Kubernetes is a tool which is used for performing container orchestration. So like this, Docker Swarm is a tool which helps in performing container orchestration. What Docker Swarm can do? Load balancing, scaling of containers, performing rolling updates, handling failure scenarios. These are the advantages of Docker Swarm. Okay. So let's proceed. So this is all what we have discussed in the last session also. 25th. Okay. So let's proceed. It's an additional tool. Docker Swarm is an additional tool. Machine in which Docker Swarm is installed is called as a manager. Machine in which Docker Swarm is installed is called as a manager. In this machine, we have installed what? Docker. In this machine, we have installed Docker and we have started creating containers, isn't it? In the same machine, if you also install one extra tool, Docker Swarm, then we can call this machine as a manager. Manager is a machine where the Docker Swarm tool is installed. As I said, it is a distributed environment. You have few more machines. You will have few more machines. So the other machines are called as worker machines. If you want to experience this Docker Swarm, we cannot experience it in one machine because you should have a distributed environment. You should have a distributed environment. So the other machines are called as workers. So to practically experience this, to make the concepts very clear, so we'll be creating 3 machines. Manager, worker 1 and worker 2. We'll be creating 3 machines, fresh from the scratch. We'll be creating 3 machines, manager, worker 1 and worker 2. So I don't want this Docker host anymore. Let's start from the scratch. I want to create 3 machines. Number of machines. Three machines I'm creating. One machine, name can be anything. I'm naming it as manager. One machine, I'm naming it as worker 1. One machine, I'm naming it as so total how many machines I have created? 3 machines I have created. All these 3 are on the same status. We just created a machine, that's it. In all the machines, we should install Docker, first point. We should install Docker on machine 1, machine 2, machine 3. Okay. How to install Docker, we know it, right? Get.docker.com. Connecting to machine 1. You also please do this infrastructure. Creating an infrastructure which is required to experience Docker Swarm. Connected to first machine. Connected to first machine. Always when you're dealing with Docker, as I told you, switch to root user. Done. Docker is installed. On which machine? First machine. Exit, disconnect, exit. I'm no more connected to the first machine. Now I'm connecting to the second machine. This setup also you do it in your AWS accounts, connecting to second machine. At a time is not possible, Dinesh. So what you can do, you can create one machine, and using that Amazon machine image, you can create a few more EC2 machines. Okay, but this is simple. That's the reason we are doing it manually. Yes, Docker is installed.
So can we do this using user data also?
You can do that. Right. Exit. Connected to second machine. Connecting to third machine. Yes. What we have done as of now, we have created 3 EC2 machines. All are of same Ubuntu, right? In all the 3 machines, we have installed Docker, Dockerfile. All are equal now. But in one machine, we'll be installing one extra tool that is called Docker Swarm. In which machine we do it? So we have selected this machine as a manager. So let's connect to this particular machine. Okay. One more optional step. We have created 3 machines. All the 3 machines we have installed Docker. Okay. After installing Docker in all the 3 machines, so what I want to do, I want to change the host name. This is an optional step. When you're connecting to first, right now you're connected to which machine? Please tell me. Right now you're connecting to which machine? IP address ending with 154. The private IP address ending with 154. I think the last machine. Private IP ending with 60.150. Right? So using the terminal, I want here as worker 1, I want here prompt as worker 2. I don't want the IP address here. I want whenever I connect it to first machine, the prompt I should get it as manager. When I am connecting to second machine in the terminal, I want to change the prompt. I don't want root at the right private IP address. No, because it's easy for us to understand the Docker form for more clarity purpose. This can be possible by changing the host name. When you change the host name, the prompts will also be changed. I'll show you. For example, I think Docker is installed in all the 3 machines, right? So I want to connect the first machine. Okay. I want to change the prompt. You can change the prompt only when you change the host name. Host name is a file wherein which you can change the prompt. Okay. How to change the host name? There's a file called host name. The file name is host name. The file name is host name, which is present in the etc directory. So go to that, open that file. You're connected first machine, right? Remember? I have opened that file. That file is having IP address hyphen, you are getting an IP address. Go to insert mode, change it as manager, escape, change the host name. After changing the host name, you need to restart the machine. There is a Linux command called init6 to restart a particular machine. Disconnected. The machine is getting restarted. Similarly, I want to change the host name of worker 1 and worker 2. Connected to worker 1. Where is the host name available? etc hostname. Open that file. Insert mode. I want to name it as what? This is which machine? This is worker 1. Restart it.
How to go to insert mode, Sunil?
Insert key. We have insert key right in the keyboard.
Keyboard. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Connected to third machine. I have changed the host name of all the 3 machines. I want to connect to first machine. See, observe here. Are you getting IP address? Instead of IP address, I have mentioned host name file. What I have mentioned manager, so that I'm going to root at the right manager. So this is the advantage. By looking at the terminal, I will understand that I have connected to which machine. Okay, not only this advantage, when we learn about containers, when we run a container on a multiple Docker host machines, you can understand easily which container is running on which machine. Happily, you can relate it because I have the prompt ready manager. I've connected to manager machine. So what is the extra tool I need to install on manager? Docker Swarm, right? Connect to manager, install Docker Swarm in it. To install Docker Swarm, it's one single command. Docker Swarm init advertise address, private IP address of the manager. One command is enough, is help you to install Docker Swarm. You are initializing Docker Swarm. You have installed Docker Swarm on this first machine. That's why it's called as a manager machine now. Okay. The moment you initialize Docker Swarm, it will generate a Docker Swarm join command. This is a Docker Swarm join command. To add a worker to this swarm, run the following command. This is a Docker Swarm join command. This join command, you need to take a note of it and run this command in worker 1 and worker 2. This is the Docker Swarm join command, which I'm taking it for the reference. Open one more terminal, connect to worker 1. Fine. Connected to worker 1. Happily, I can see the prompt. Worker 1 should be added to what? Worker 1 should be added to manager. Worker 2 should be added to manager. How can we add worker 1 to manager? By using this Docker Swarm join command. I have the Docker Swarm join command, running it in worker 1. This node joined a swarm as a worker. Worker 1 machine has joined the swarm. Good. Exit. Similarly, we should do with what? Worker 2. Connected to worker 2. Connected to worker 2. This worker 2 joined the swarm. How many machines joined the swarm? Please tell me. Swarm instance manager. How many machines joined the swarm? 2 machines joined the swarm. Worker 1 and worker 2. Okay. Second machine is also joined. So my job is done. Exit. Exit. I don't want this terminal. This is which terminal? Tell me. This is which terminal? Manager terminal. In the manager terminal, you can see how many machines are added. Machines are nothing but called as nodes. Machines are nothing but nodes. So if you want to see list of all the nodes from the manager machine, to see the number of nodes, Docker node ls. We can see manager is also considered as one node. We have 3 nodes, one manager machine, one worker 1 machine, one worker 2 machine. From the manager, you can see number of nodes. Manager is also, this itself machine is also considered as one node. So total we have 3 nodes, one manager machine, one worker 1 machine, one worker 2 machine. Clear about this? So what I have done, quick recap. So you also create this infrastructure in your AWS account. Create 3 EC2 machines. First step. All the EC2 machines install Docker. That is step 2. Change the host name. Step 3, that is step 3. Next step, what you do, connect to that machine which we have named it as manager, install Docker Swarm. That's one command. When you install Docker Swarm, it will generate a join command. That join command, run it in worker 1 and worker 2. Those two workers will be joined to the manager. That's it. Once this infrastructure is ready, tomorrow we'll see how can we create containers in a distributed environments. How can we create containers on a distributed environments?
So can you show me the Docker join command? That you actually shared on the master. No, not this one. No, you installed Docker Swarm on
Install
master. I
how
want
to
to see.
the command to install Docker Swarm.
Yeah.
Docker Swarm init
Mm-hmm.
advertise address, the private IP address of the manager.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sunil, what is the use
Docker
of that
Swarm-
join Docker Swarm? What is the use of Docker Swarm join command? Why we are executing it in worker 1 and worker 2?
Worker 1 and our worker 2 machines needs to be joined to the manager. So finally, manager will control the complete machines. Manager will control the worker 1 and worker 2. So finally, when you create a container, containers will be distributed into all these 3 machines, Dinesh. Okay.
Okay, Sunil. We will be creating container only in manager.
Command we run it in manager, but the load will be distributed to worker 1 and worker 2. That's the concept of distributed environment. Load balance, as I told you. All
Okay,
this will be
Sunil.
very clear when we see the practicals.
Okay, Sunil.
Okay. So this setup you have to do it. All of you, please do the setup. It is interesting. Docker Swarm is interesting.
Hello,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, Satyam.
Sir, so Kubernetes is more reliable or this Docker Swarm?
Both are. Both are.
Which one is mostly preferred in companies?
Few companies are using Kubernetes. Few companies are using Docker Swarm. So both are used. Satyam.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Swarm is also used. Kubernetes is also used. Concept
Okay.
is the same for both.
Hello, Sunil.
Yes, Asif.
So in same way we can install Kubernetes also.
Yes, but the concept is different, not these commands. We have different
Concept is
Kubernetes
different.
commands. See, yeah. Because the tool is different, obviously the concepts are different.
Okay.
Commands are different. This is the commands for Docker Swarm. Okay. So I'll share these notes to you. So please complete this setup. So I'm not stopping, I'm not terminating these missions. Okay, I'm stopping this. Dinesh, if my account is active tomorrow, I'll use my account. Otherwise, I'll continue your my exam.
Okay, Sunil, no problem.
Okay, thank you all. I'll email you these notes. Okay. So please complete this setup so that tomorrow we'll start the practicals of Docker Swarm. Okay. Bye everybody. Bye Deepak. Chanakya, Chetan,
Bye, sir.
Ananya, Prashant. Thank you. Thank you all.